Hello and welcome to another booktube video from me, Lauren, from Lauren of the Books. Itchy nose, also severely over highlighted, not just nose, face. I haven't been very well, which is why this video is a day late. I've had a terrible diarrhea and sickness bug. Oh, gorgeous, but the less said about that the better. I'm feeling much better today, much better. So I'm filming this on Thursday, it's going up on Thursday, and yeah, it's a TBR. It's the books that I'm planning on reading in the month of March. Now, you will know that the Women's Prize for Fiction long list came out on Monday. Tomorrow is International Women's Day. Hurrah! And I will be filming a video about my thoughts and plans on what to do with the Women's Prize for Fiction long list. There are some of those books that I will be reading in this TBR, but I'm not going to dwell on them because the video is coming out to Moz. So yeah, I'll just sort of briefly go over them. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to talk about the books that I'm actually currently reading because it is March. Normally I film my TBR at the end of the month, but as you will know, I was off last month. Oh god, I had a right old itch in there. So yeah, let's talk about the books that I'm currently reading. So at the moment I'm currently reading The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne, my first ever John Boyne. My god, I'm loving this. You know when you read something and you're like, oh, I think this might be my new favourite author. No, it's not my first ever John Boyne because he wrote The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, didn't he? And I didn't realise. I only found that out yesterday on Aoife's channel. But it is the Irish Readathon this month, and although the majority of my month is going to be dedicated to reading Women's Prize for Fiction books, I wanted to read some Irish books. So this is the first Irish book. There is another one to come a bit later on. But I'm loving this. This is following Cyril Avery's life from, basically from conception almost. You follow the story of his mother finding out that she is pregnant with him and then her having to give him up because she is unmarried, and it is 1945 in Ireland, and they don't like you to have babies in Ireland if you're unmarried. And then you follow his life and what a life he's had. He lived in Ireland for a lot. The fact that he's fallen in love with his best friend, he goes to marry his best friend's sister, and that doesn't happen. Then he moves to Amsterdam for a while, then to New York. He's currently in New York. I am loving this. There's so much detail in it and the characters are just absolutely fantastic. I adore this and I can't wait to read more and more John Boyne. I think he's got a new one out at the moment called Ladder to the Sky. Is that his new one? But I'm definitely going to be reading more of John Boyne this year. So yeah, about 200 pages of that left. I don't really want it to end, loving it so much. So that is the first one. The next one is one that I will just briefly talk about. I'm just going to have a little readjust down here, excuse me. And that is, I'm listening to the audiobook and reading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is something that I started doing last month, where I would listen to a little bit and then read a few pages and then listen to a little bit. Really enjoy doing it. Different way of doing it, not done that before. And yeah, I'm about halfway through Order of the Phoenix, Umbridge. Awful, isn't she? Awful. And then here is the first of the Women's Prize for Fiction long list books that I'm reading. And I bought Circe by Madeline Miller. I am just under halfway through this. This is a story of Circe, who is the daughter of Helios, a god, but her face doesn't fit and her voice doesn't fit, and they're not keen on her. And after she does a couple of naughty spells, they banish her, they exile her to an island where she sort of becomes more of a witch than she realises, and she sort of grows accustomed to her herbs, and she has all these animals and a lion that's a familiar, wonderful. And then she's dragged back to help with her sister is going into childbirth. That's as far as I've got. When I started it, I wasn't loving it. I was like, my god, there's so many characters in here and I don't really know much. Basically, I did classical civilization for AS level, which is sort of like I don't even know if they still do AS levels. I think they do. Oh, sorry. It's like half an A level basically. And I did the Iliad, and yeah, I did the Iliad the whole year. I think I did the Iliad, and I quite enjoyed it. But there's things in here that I didn't really know about, apart from films that my dad made me watch when I was younger. So at the moment they're talking about Jason and the Golden Fleece, which is definitely a film I watched when I was younger. But I am really enjoying this. I didn't think I would. When I picked it up, I was like, the first sort of 20 pages, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to enjoy this. Why did I buy it? Why didn't I get it out from the library? But yeah, I'm quite enjoying it now. And David's dad borrowed Song of Achilles, which is Madeline Miller's first book, from me, and I imagine he's probably going to want to borrow that as well. So that is the yeah, that's one of the Women's Prize long list books that I'll be reading. I'm also going to be reading this month, and this is a book that I've got up from the library. It's Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. I have been wanting to read this for quite some time. David and I went to watch the film for his birthday last year, in fact, when we were on holiday in Cromer. We went to the cinema, we were the only people in there, it was really lovely. And we watched Crazy Rich Asians. So yeah, I've been wanting to read the book of it. It's the first in a trilogy. I really enjoyed the book, the film. I found it really fun, and I've been meaning to read it for a long while. And this is actually, I'm a bit ahead of the game really, because this is my in real life book club book for, not April, for May. My God, but it is the first Monday of May. That is quite early. But yeah, I thought I would read that. We're doing book to film adaptations, and this was the book that we picked. So yes, looking forward to that. I really like this front cover as well. Very much enjoy it. Then, as I mentioned, it's the Irish Readathon, and my Patreon book club, following on from that, my Patreon book club, which is a book club that I run over on Patreon. If you'd like to go and check it out, I'll leave all the details down below. We read a different genre a month. I give the book club members a choice of 2 books from that genre. They have a vote, and then at the end of the month I do a live show, and people are sort of like chatting in the comments, and I'm talking through some questions and stuff. Done it 3 times now. Really bloody love doing it. Very much enjoy it. And the book that we've picked this month was Himself by Jess Kidd. The other one that was up, which I might get round to reading, so I'll leave that there, was When All Is Said by Anne Griffin, which is a new book out. I actually thought this was going to be longlisted, and it wasn't. I will talk about that in a minute, but this one is the one that won. And this is, oh, it sounds gripping, but also a bit gutty. I read the first paragraph, it sounds a bit gutty. When Mahoney returns to Moulderig, a speck of a place on Ireland's west coast, he brings only a photograph of his long-lost mother and a determination to do battle with the lies of his past. No one, living or dead, will tell Mahoney what happened to the teenage mother who abandoned him as a baby, despite his certainty that more than one of the villagers knows the sinister truth. Between Moulderig's sly priest, its pitiless nurse, and the caustic elderly actress throwing herself into a final village play, this beautiful and darkly comic debut novel creates an unforgettable world of mystery, bloody violence, and buried secrets. So yeah, and I read the first paragraph, and yeah, it sounds it's going to be a bit gutty, but very much looking forward to that. And as I said, that is the book that won the vote. And then if I do get a chance to read another book this month, because I'm going to be reading the women's long. This isn't even my video about the women's prize for fiction long list, but I've said it an awful lot of time. Then this is probably the book I will pick up, which is the book that didn't win in the Patreon book club vote. This is When All Is Said by Anne Griffin. This is about an old chap who he is in a bar in, don't know where, doesn't say. At the Rainsford House Hotel, I don't know where that is, and he does a toast to 5 people, and this is him talking about the 5 people in his lifetime. I really like things like this, and it would probably remind me a little bit of The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. Is that book by Mitch Albom? And yeah, I am looking forward to reading that. So, the women's prize books. Now, as I said, I'm not going to go into detail about them because these are there is a video going up tomorrow about full plans, but in March these are the books that I'm hoping to read. So the 2 audio books that I've bought The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker on audio, and Milkman by Anna Burns on audio. Now, Milkman won the Man Booker Prize, and I've been told is a sort of like a little bit like Emma McBride. I can't think what it's called, like a stream of consciousness, is that what I mean? And I've been advised by a few people to listen to it on Audible, so I'll definitely be doing that. And in fact, I'm about to finish an audio book at the moment. I'm listening to Stacey Dooley, Women Who Fight Back, and that's going to finish today. I'm just at the hour point now, so I'm just about to go make some lunch, and then after that I imagine that'll be finished. So I may well start listening to Milkman today, and then I'm also going to listen to The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. I want to leave a bit of time between Circe and The Silence of the Girls because I understand they're well, they're similar, they're the same genre, aren't they? And then I've also reserved at the library, none of them have come in yet, but I'm expecting them to come in like either this weekend or next weekend, My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyonkin Braithwaite, An American Marriage by Tayari Jones, and Freshwater by Akwaki Emezi. And yeah, that's a few of the books from the Women's Prize long list. Now, as I said, I'm going to be doing a video that's going up tomorrow about the Women's Prize long list, so do tune in for that. I've got a lovely t-shirt to wear for that. I'm very much looking forward to wearing that. And yeah, that's it from me. So have you guys read any of these books? Don't talk about the women's long list yet because that's up tomorrow. Have you guys read any of these books? What books have you enjoyed? Are you joining in? Are you reading anything Irish this month? Because it's the Irish Readathon. I'll be very interested in hearing. And I will see you all again tomorrow for another booktube video. Goodbye!